So guys, welcome to the Moto Villa. This is Sunny here and I was so absorbed when I was playing that game कि मुझे पता ही नहीं चला कि real और video game में difference क्या है, and because of the surround screens. But you know what? This is not the gaming room. This is where I work. This is where I do my edits. And anyway, thanks to these three monitors here, from ThinkVision, I get that surround, kind of effect. Not only surround sound, by the way, surround vision. And it's as if I'm sitting in the car. But this video is about gaming, actual arcade gaming. So we've also got an arcade room which we call the Moto Arcade. ये जो room है, this is the name, this is the Moto Cave. Let's go out and I'll show you that specifically. Come on. Oh, by the way, a lot of times I say that when I'm riding, when I'm driving supercars, I feel like I'm in a video game. So you can see, I'll give you a quick introduction of the bikes here. So this is a ZX-10R. I ride it on the track. This is an Indian FTR 1200, this sort of off-roadish kind of a thing. This is the world's largest capacity motorcycle, the Triumph Rocket 3R 2021. 2.5 liters, 2500cc. Yes, you heard that right. And everything that you see here, this is my collection. In fact, a lot of it is not here. Some of it is from video games, some of it's not. Talking about video games, this guy here is one of my latest acquisitions, and this is from Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played that game. This was amazing, and this is something which we made later on. So let's not talk too much. Let's take the blessings of Iron Man, because we are all about technology here. Let's go out of the Moto Cave. I want you to see this bad boy here. This is a Street Fighter V4S, the world's fastest naked motorcycle, 208 bhp, 199 kgs. And up we go to level 1 here. And all of these photos that you see, these are mostly clicked by us here in XBHP. We have done more than 60 countries. And each photo has got a story. So here we are at level 1, and we call this the Moto Launch. Now here, this place is where, you can have a lot of discussions. You can have people talking, having a cup of coffee, stuff like that. But this is the centerpiece of everything. This is connected to a BenQ V6000 laser projector, which is over there. So people, a lot of times they ask me, where is the projector? Projector is over there, and this is an ALR screen, which means ambient light rejection screen. So essentially it rejects all the light which is coming from different direction, or it tries to, except the direction of the projector. So that's why it's so bright, and it's supposed to be a TV replacement, because you can imagine how much a 120-inch TV is going to cost. I have connected this with an Acer Predator laptop here, and the gaming on this is absolutely astounding. So hold on, this is not the Moto Arcade. This is not a dedicated gaming room. But let me quickly show you what does gaming on this look like.
Don't do this! You could still change your mind.
Want to see me give up? Sounds like something you'd do. Know why? Because you've...
Guys, that was Keanu Reeves, I think Silver Hand or something like that here. This is Cyberpunk 2077. I could never actually finish the game because I have no time. But this is one of my favorite video games ever. And playing on this, it is absolutely crazy. That crazy is like an understatement. 120 inches of screen, but like I was saying, that this is not the gaming room. I want to show you the real deal. Let's go. But let me actually show you the purpose-built room that we have here, which we call the Moto Arcade. Let's go in. This is the Moto Arcade, and this is still not complete. I mean, no room, no place is complete in Moto Villa. It's work in progress. But this room is like something, which I always wanted as a kid. And talking about that, this thing has grown up, because this was my first console when I was in class 9th or 8th, something like that. And now I thought that why not make it into a cupboard, you know. It's made out of wood, and of course this is Super Mario playing the Moto video game here. So there's a lot of such nuggets here. For example, this one is also related to Super Mario, as we all know. Well, the question is what all other things are here. This wall was actually very hurriedly built because we just wanted to finish things up, and you can see there are different sort of assorted collectibles, right from Mortal Kombat, the Contra brothers over there, and a lot of other stuff is here. So let's talk about sections. This section here is called WoW, which is wall of weapons, and all these weapons that you see either have been bought individually or have been taken from the figures that I have down in the room and here. So we follow a strict policy of non-violence, and that is why we've taken all their weapon and put it here. And this is also a constantly work in progress kind of a thing, keeps, you know, filling it up. And now, you know, this a lot of things that we have made, actually we could not find them on the internet, and we had to think how to do it. So I'm thinking of doing a small series, like reel series, where, you know, I can tell you that how I build these things, how I build this wall. It's actually pretty simple. Now let's talk about this section here. But before that, let me tell you one thing, that every room here in the Moto Villa, it might seem very jazzy and very cyberpunkish, but it is also very livable. So if you switch off all the RGB lights here, you can actually turn this into a proper lighted room, and you can also work. So in all rooms we have got this sort of a setup here, which we call Moto Station. So this is under the Moto Arcade room. Even this table has been built by us, customized, and all the smart lighting, the colors can be changed and everything. And here we have a ThinkVision P44, 44 inches curved monitor here, is actually connected to a very fast computer, like a supercomputer. I'll show you where that is in a moment. And so this was about this section. And talking about this here, this might seem very simple to you, but this is actually a sofa cum bed. So, you know, any guest who wants to sleep specifically in the arcade room can do so by just converting into a bed, which takes around 3 seconds. So this guy here is from Sleepyhead. A big shout out to them, because I was looking for something industrial, something boxy to go with the whole theme, and this is it. Wanted to have a wall on which, you know, I wanted to put my Hot Wheel cars, some of my cars, because I have around 3,000 of them. And I thought that why not build this here. It actually started out as just an experiment, but then, you know, it grew out to be so big. It's basically kind of a map, a basic map, like in those 8-bit games. And we've got Tumblr, you know, we got all these, you know, guys hanging from there. And these hubs, you know, they were supposed to be also branded. So, you know, when I say branded, it means that, you know, you see all these things which have been written, they have been done by a plotter machine. Behind this, it's a wooden board. Otherwise, you can't stick all this on a normal wall, all right. This thing here, we call it the fastest Cyber Apache. This was a project that I wanted to do. We call this a floor top. Not a desktop, not a laptop. This is a floor top because of the size and sits on the floor. And secondly, the wings also come up. And this is 3D printed, handmade, partly. The only original thing which has come from the real motorcycle is this part, the handlebar. Rest everything is done by us, like using our hands or other, you know, machining processes. And when you press the starter button here, it actually switches on the whole setup over there, which consists of an extremely powerful RTX 3080 Ti graphics card, and with an AMD and that 5090 Ryzen, I think, if I'm not wrong, 64 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of SSD, and of course the top of line stuff. And this thing is connected to this, or rather this is connected to this. So this is from Next Level Racing. So basically they're a company They're an Australian company, if I'm not wrong. And this is, they call it the FGT cockpit. So this means that it's got two positions, the F1 and the Grand Touring, the GT position. So this one right now is in the GT position. So when you're playing most of the racing games, I don't like F1 games, you know. I like to play games which I can actually do stuff like the same thing in real life. For example, I drive a lot of supercars, so I prefer GT games. It's like connected with a racing wheel, force feedback and everything. And this is actually quite addictive. So this here is an extremely powerful and capable gadget, which is the HTC Vive 2 Pro. The resolution, the specs on this are pretty amazing. I mean, the technology for VR is not developing as fast as I would want or you would want, but what this can immerse you in blows your mind. It fools you into thinking that you are into this. It can be dangerous, let me tell you that, if you play a lot in this. So I find this really amazing, you know. In fact, I was playing Half-Life Alyx in this, and they've done a wonderful job in that. Talking about one more hardware, which is one of the main things. So this thing here is the LG 75 Nano Cell, and you can see the way it's mounted. I can just move it with my single finger here. 4K, extremely good resolution. You can sit here, you can still see the whole text and everything sharp, and you can also edit, you know, if you want. And by the way, this PC here, the desktop, the floor top, is also connected to the Moto workstation, so that you can draw the power, you can use its power to edit 4K videos, and you know, without any lags. You know guys, I'm just coming from Europe after driving the BMW M4 competition, and I kept repeating the phrase that it feels like a video game all the time. And this is why it feels like a video game. Well, actually right now I will be actually playing a video game. This is pretty cool, you know. And when I'm actually driving a car like this, for example, I'm again going to Europe, I'll be driving a 630 bhp. It's almost a supercar. I take care that I don't forget that I'm actually driving in the real world. And this is so immersive, especially if you actually push this whole system closer to the TV. The clarity is amazing. And I mean, this is actually a very old system, so I have not upgraded because I don't play video games so much. But you can imagine, you know, you can have a look yourself like how cool this is. So guys, this is actually pretty immersive as well, because if I leave this, you can see this is force feedback, and I'm driving off-road. And I mean, this is all pretty standard stuff, I know, but if you just combine everything that we have here, it makes for a very realistic kind of a system here. So all I can say is keep checking back, because every place here at Moto Villa, which is nothing like this, is currently in India. That is what I wanted to build, is basically because of my childhood fascination with gadgets and superbikes. I mean, who is not fascinated with all those things? So until then, I'll continue playing here. Drive safe, ride safe, and game hard.